Prasad is here, CEO of V1 Sports, and V1 Coaching app is brand new. It's a great app to help developing strong player relationships and delivering world-class instruction. I'm getting my son to V1 golf side of it. Welcome, Alex.
I'm here. David, hello.
Hi.
Great to meet
How are
you.
you?
I'm good. Good. Happy Wednesday.
Well, happy Wednesday to you. I'm super excited about the launch of the V1 Coach app and looking forward to utilizing it with my son, and especially with golf specifically. What a great application it is in order to facilitate different tools that allow for better instruction and better relationships. Give me an idea about the app and the AI features, what they allow the participants to utilize.
Yeah, so there's two sides of our platform. One is the V1 Golf app, which is designed for the consumers, and then the V1 Coach app for the instructors. And one of the biggest pain points, and hearing you talking about sales, but one of the biggest pain points for instructors, David, is they don't really ask for the sale, right? Perhaps I come to you for one lesson, we do that one lesson, end of our relationship, right? And the instructor sits there and goes, David, in this case, you would sit there and say, I hope Alex comes back, right? So we've done some really basic things, leveraging AI to leverage the instructor's time to keep that feedback loop coming in a personalized way. So we're super excited about that. And this business started purely as a B2B business, and then we kind of strapped on the consumer, and our big focus now is connecting the two of them. So I can say pretty confidently, no one has more instructors in their ecosystem, and no one has more golfers that are avid and want to improve. And so now we kind of, with that foundation laid, have the fun part, which is putting them together. So we're now a place where the golfers can come and find a coach, not just work with an existing coach. So it's been an exciting 3 or 4 year journey at this point.
Well, I found that coaches and teachers all have that same problem, that they're so kind and generous. They feel bad for asking for business or asking to help people, when in actuality, if you knew you could change someone's game, you knew you could improve their score, their grade, whatever it may be, you're doing a disservice by not asking or providing continuity, a way to manage and develop the relationship. And to be honest, as you know, if we work with an instructor continually, the nuances and subtleties of what we can pick up and improve upon by understanding their own physiology, their own mindset, as well as their unique abilities, only allows a coach who continually works with someone to provide exponential value compared to different coaches doing different things, which actually can cause interference or detriment to a game or to performance. In that aspect, you have more coaches on the app. How are you creating the two-sided marketplace in order to get more players to be aware of the V1 Coach and the V1 Sports app?
Yeah, so I said a lot of interesting things leading up to that, but you used the word marketplace, and we kind of view that as a 4-letter word because we think marketplaces are really good for consumers if the consumer knows how to choose, but actually is not super effective if they don't. And so we found that golfers have a hard time evaluating online, especially, who's the instructor that's right for me. So we're actually in a kind of hand-to-hand combat sort of way, based on the responses from golfers, matching them to instructors, and vice versa, right? Instructors are giving us feedback. These are the types of golfers we like to work with, and so we're matching them. We're trying to get on the thought train of each side, if you will, and solve their problems. So lots of instructors will put their name in the yellow pages of golf instructors, if you will, on various platforms. And that's a whole different game, right? We just started with the conversation around golf instructors don't even ask for the sale. Golf instructors then going and putting their name in the phone book, it doesn't really move the ball forward for them or for the golfer. So the golfer will look at, the Yelp, if you will, of golf instructors that are out there. There are several, and just kind of pick the ones that have the top ratings, right? So it works for that 10%, just like Airbnbs. I mean, you can think a lot of metaphors. So speaking to that difference, that it is not a marketplace, but a series of similarities, we found some pretty good traction there because lots of instructors have tried the quote unquote marketplace approach. We found lots of experts in general, but especially golf coaches, building on what you said, David, they became a golf coach to coach golf, right? The business thing is almost ancillary. That's why they don't want to ask for the sale, et cetera, right? They didn't come into it saying, I'm going to be, next Elon Musk or Bill Gates or whatever by becoming a golf instructor, right? And so they don't do those things well. And then each time we add a layer of complication in their business strategy, it just gets like more attenuated, right? And harder for them. So we're really trying not to be a marketplace, but to be kind of a matching service, if you will, if you can make that distinction. At least we think that's a powerful distinction.
Yeah, I think you can make a big distinction between a marketplace comparatively to a dating service and utilizing. In both cases, though, you need to have as many players and as many coaches as possible. It only benefits whether you're a matching dating service or whether you're a marketplace where you just have buyers and sellers. And I do see that distinction. You and I have a similar background in being recovering lawyers, and also with the sports background as well. I have found that those lessons that I've learned from those differentiating careers have helped to facilitate understanding the value in the instruction. So when I, for example, owned 25% of Clarkson Dreammaker and worked with George Whitfield, so I did a lot within the realm of quarterback coaching and understanding the emotional connection and value of a parent trying to enhance their child's career, whether it be academics, the music, but especially sports. I always say that there's only one thing that has a greater emotional attachment than sports, and that's kids in sports. People spend $1,000 for a ball with the signature on it. That's not rational. And then more importantly, I've seen, moms literally pay for lessons for their kids before they fed their family. And that's not rational either. But, with your background, how have you utilized the emotional side of instruction, especially with kids? Because it seems as if a lot of who would utilize this app would be kids with a great coach.
Yeah, so kids, pets, and end of life, three things that no one's price sensitive on. So someone used that line. It's not mine, but it was a great line. So I always, anytime someone starts talking about that, that's what I think of. It's a huge social, emotional job. I say that all the time. My team, if they're watching, they're probably rolling their eyes because I use it all the time. And I don't think, David, and I think it'll probably resonate with you, right, with your background and mine, it's different than getting a deal done. Getting the deal done is not about the terms often, and it's often not about the words on the piece of paper and the purchase agreement, or I'm a corporate transactional guy. It's about the humans behind those things, right? So no platform in and of itself is going to win the deal for the instructor, if you will, right? Like we view our job as putting the instructor in the room, digitally or otherwise, right, with the person, and then the instructor gets to work their magic because presumably they're pretty good at that. They're pretty good one-on-one, right? But it's to make that digital experience, frictionless, so as not to interrupt that emotional, social interaction. And right off the bat, right, someone asked you a question about feedback. When we think about a coaching relationship, that's about as candid as it gets, right? And you need to have a baseline level of trust between an athlete and a coach, or a mentor and a mentee, so that the mentor, the expert, whomever that is, the golf instructor, can give that candid feedback, right? How many times have you been in a situation where the relationship isn't strong enough, and so everyone's kind of just grinning at each other and beating around the bush, right, and not giving the super candid feedback. So we view our job, we're a technology platform, very hard to check the social emotional boxes. We just view our job as trying to make it as frictionless as possible to facilitate more of those, and then that's where responsibility, if you will, passes to these two sides of the market, or the athlete and the golf instructor, to work their magic. And sorry, I'm riffing, and I'll just 10 more seconds. We forget, I think, in SaaS in particular, that it's people interacting here, right? The volume is great, and everyone's trying to automate everything. That's the beauty of a software business. But at the end of the day, it really is about these people interacting. And so I try really hard to spend most of my day in other people's shoes, and really will check in and say, of the things I've worked on today, how often have I been thinking from the perspective of a customer or a vendor, or a user of our platform, and how often have I been thinking from my perspective about what we want? Because what I want is not, going to be the thing that generates more revenue for us. It's what they want, right? And so I'm always trying to war game out those conversations or fake conversations between us and the customer, between the customers, right, in terms of instructor and golfer, to get to what's going to move the needle. Because at the end of the day, I'm asking these folks to use the platform. I'm making the ask, and they're going to decide based on their criteria, not on mine, right? So that was a long riff on social emotional jobs, but it's kind of one of my favorite topics.
Very Steve Jobs, connecting the dots backwards in consumer-centric marketing and distribution. Number two, it does fold into exactly what we were talking about before with being honest or candid and repetitious. And in order to facilitate that, you have to have this relationship. And with the AI that's available today and with the new launch from V1 Sports of the V1 Coach app and utilizing this player-specific app, for example, the V1 Golf, in order to facilitate true relationships so that you do have the repetition and the credibility to have candid conversations so that we don't hurt people's feelings because we trust the fact that the criticism or the construction that we're giving and instruction is for the benefit. And all of those who have worked in sports for years knows what a great coach means. And if you don't, then just watch the Los Angeles Chargers on Monday night and the difference between Jim Harbaugh compared to Staley. That's one coach with less players beating the crap out of everyone compared to a coach with much better players the previous season. Anyway, I'm a huge sports guy. I love CAS, which is Coaching as a Service, and he has created something that's going to benefit not only my son, but many other children and adults out there that get frustrated with the frustration of playing golf and many other sports. V1 Sports, check it out at v1sports.com. CEO of V1 Sports, the amazing Alex Prasad. Please come back and join us. Congratulations on your launch.
Thanks, David. Appreciate your time.
You got it, brother. Take care.
See ya.